Hi guys, Megan off leash Canine Boise. Meet Scout. Hi Scout. Hi. Scout is our newest 2 week board and train. He is a 5-month-old cockapoo. The owners bring him to us because they actually had a neighbor who did training with us and they wanted Scout to have that same great training. Now, as you could tell, Scout is a puppy. He's only 5 months old, so he doesn't have much of a foundation of any training. So we're really starting from the ground up. So the owner says there's a few areas that she'd really like to address. First and foremost, his leash manners. Right now, Scout pulls quite a bit on the leash, often choking himself on his flat collar. And because he's a little dog, we want to be really mindful of his trachea, as well as just teaching him good leash manners. So we're going to do that in a couple ways. One with a heel command, teaching him that he has to walk nicely next to us without pulling or tugging. And then just general leash manners that when he's on a leash, he's not allowed to add that leash pressure. In addition to that, we want to make sure he has a good recall command. Right now, the owner is actually potting him on leash in her backyard because he does have a tendency to run off, hide behind bushes, and he won't come back. In addition to recall and heal, we also want to work on that place command. Place is going to be really good for Scout for a few different reasons. First, place is just going to help give him some boundaries in and around the home. And the other thing is, he is really small and he has a tendency to get under his owner's feet quite a bit. So that place is going to be really helpful. In addition to our obedience commands, we want to address some nuisance behaviors. So, Scout really likes to jump. He will kind of constantly jump up on the owner for attention. He also turns that jumping into like a playtime session where he will jump and then he'll start nipping at her feet. He'll nip at her slippers. He'll nip at her hands. So, we're going to work on off as well as leave it with Scout. That's just going to teach him that he needs to have those good manners. He's not allowed to put his paws up and he's not allowed to put his mouth on anything. Finally, the last thing we're going to be working on with Scout is some boundary training. In her backyard, she has grass that goes into rocks, and he loves to eat those rocks. So, we're going to teach him a boundary, keeping him in the grass area and away from those rocks. We are so excited to work with him. He is just such a cute boy. So, make sure you stay tuned for his transformation. Good boy, Scout.